2 banks, no mask, lemon juice on his face, because he thought it made him invisible. He wasn't crazy, he was certain. That same certainty has crashed companies, misled commanders, and is steering your feed right now. Stay with me. In a moment, I'll give you a 10-second check. Your brain will almost certainly fail. And once you see it, you'll never trust your certainty the same way again. If you're already sure you won't, this episode is about you. All right, 10 seconds. Don't blurt it out. Just think it. And I want you to rate your confidence on this from 0 to 100%. How sure are you of your answer? A bat and a ball cost $1.10 in total. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? Go. If you thought 10 cents, that's the reflex. That's what your brain wants you to believe. The correct answer is 5 cents. Quick math. If the ball were 10 cents, the bat would be $1.10, totaling $1.20. That doesn't work. Ball equals 5 cents, bat equals $1.05, total equals $1.10. Notice how absolutely certain you felt in those 10 seconds. That's the trap we're diving into today. Confidence often arrives faster than checking the facts. Rabbit Hole! Welcome to the Rabbit Hole Chronicles. I'm Percival Blackwood, January 6th, 1995. McArthur Wheeler robs 2 Pittsburgh banks without a mask, smiling directly at security cameras. His disguise? Lemon juice on his face. The logic? Invisible ink uses lemon juice, therefore lemon juice equals invisibility. But here's what makes this scientifically important. Wheeler tested his hypothesis. He covered his face in juice and took a Polaroid. The photo came out blank because he couldn't aim the camera properly. His incompetence at testing proved his incompetent theory correct. When arrested 12 hours later, Wheeler wasn't defensive. He was bewildered. Reality had betrayed him. Cornell psychologist David Dunning read about Wheeler and recognized something everyone missed. A man whose ignorance made him blind to his ignorance. Not stupid, trapped in a cognitive prison where the walls are invisible because seeing them requires exactly what you lack. Dunning and his student Dunning-Kruger tested Cornell undergraduates on grammar, logic, and humour. The results were so disturbing, journal editors demanded 3 replications. Bottom quartile performers, the objectively worst, believed they were in the 62nd percentile. They scored at 12. But when researchers tried to show them their errors, direct feedback failed. The students literally couldn't process information, contradicting their self-assessment. Only after extensive training in the actual subject could they look back and recognise their previous incompetence. The double curse. You're bad at something and you lack the cognitive framework to know you're bad. It's not ego, it's architecture. In 1992, before Wheeler, classified Pentagon assessments discovered nuclear command officers, most confident during crisis simulations, consistently made the most catastrophic errors. They restructured the entire chain of command. 2001, Enron collapses. Investigators find CEO Kenneth Lay genuinely believed he was a genius. During his trial, he failed basic accounting tests. He couldn't understand the crimes he'd committed because he couldn't understand accounting. 2008, financial crisis architects weren't lying to regulators. Internal memos show they believed their risk models were foolproof. Their incompetence hid itself from them. 2014, Malaysian Airlines Flight 370. The search commander overruled radar experts, trusting his intuition. Military psychologists now call this command blindness, when authority amplifies the effect. I've obtained documents showing 3 major pharmaceutical companies have protocols for identifying executives with DK indicators. They don't fire them. That would require explanation. They promote them sideways. Silicon Valley calls it rest and vest. Wall Street, window seats. Every major institution has a protocol for handling people too incompetent to recognize incompetence, but too dangerous to confront. Because here's what nobody admits. the effect clusters around specific personalities: high confidence, low anxiety, cognitive rigidity, the exact traits we associate with leadership. A buried 2018 study found 73% of elected officials scored bottom third on basic civics tests about how government works. Their confidence in political knowledge, top 10%. Facebook's leaked 2021 research showed users sharing the most educational content score lowest on comprehension tests about those topics. The algorithm rewards confident ignorance, arguing with expertise. MIT discovered they could predict social media sharing patterns using Dunning-Kruger algorithms. Less accurate information was shared more confidently. When they tried publishing in mainstream outlets, they were blocked. The implications undermined democratic assumptions. Democracy assumes people can recognize good leadership. Dunning-Kruger proves they can't. The incompetent elect the incompetent, both too incompetent to recognize it. But in 2002, researchers Kruger and Muller showed the entire effect could be reproduced using random numbers. No psychology, just statistics. If you're terrible, you can only overestimate. If you're excellent, you can only underestimate. Mathematical boundaries create the pattern. Even if it's just math, not psychology, the outcome remains. Incompetent people overestimate. Competent people underestimate. If it's mathematical, it's unfixable, built into reality structure. But there's a darker possibility. What if Dunning-Kruger is evolutionary? Confidence attracts followers. The certain become leaders, get resources, reproduce. Natural selection might favour confident ignorance over doubtful expertise. The bug might be the feature. Some researchers now privately call it the democracy paradox. Others won't discuss what they found about institutional decision-making. The implications are too destabilising. Every Fortune 500 company has shadow protocols. Every government agency has workarounds. They know the most dangerous people are the most confident. They've built systems to contain them without confrontation, but containment is failing. Social media broke the barriers. Now confident ignorance has direct access to millions. No filters, no experts, no correction mechanisms. The algorithm doesn't fact-check confidence. It amplifies it. McArthur Wheeler died in prison still believing the lemon juice worked. Something else must have gone wrong. The camera was special. The police had technology. The evidence couldn't penetrate his incompetence shield. Statistically, you'll die believing something equally wrong. Something you're certain about right now. Your own invisible juice. But recognizing Dunning-Kruger doesn't immunize you. Knowing about it might make it worse. Now you think you're smart enough to avoid it. That confidence, that's the symptom. We live in a world where everyone has information access but not wisdom. Where admitting ignorance is weakness. Where the loudest voices have the emptiest heads. Every person who's done research and discovered what experts missed, they're not stupid. They're running the same cognitive architecture, affecting you as you judge them. Here's the thought that should haunt you. If this episode made perfect sense, if you understood it completely, you didn't. That certainty you feel, that's your blind spot revealing itself. The cameras are always rolling, and someday you'll be the one saying, "But I wore the juice." I'm Percival Blackwood, and this has been the Rabbit Hole Chronicles.